Try to find a quieter place.
Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Oda Smith. Today, sports fans, I got some good people here for you. I got Mr. O.J. Anderson, the big man himself from the former New York Giants, St. Louis, not Arizona, St. Louis Cardinals. Then I also have here the speedy man himself, Dexter Carter, former of the 49ers. His son also plays at Cedar Grove High School. We're going to give him some love. But we got these fellas here. We're going to talk about the 2023 Super Bowl. How you guys doing? How you fellas doing?
Hey, we doing great.
Good.
I know you moving. I know you moving. You gotta, I know you froze up a little bit, but I know you moving. So we're going to discuss the 2023 Super Bowl coming up. And in case you guys haven't figured out, I got two running backs.
Hey, and I tell you, my man, hey, I'm the smaller of the two and have much respect for OJ, man, because I'm going to tell you what, man, I remember our playing days when he was with, the Giants, and I was with the 49ers. So I've always had great respect for him, man.
OJ was the type of running back I don't think nobody wanted to see, because if you didn't hit OJ before he got through the offensive line, it's gonna be a problem. That's one of them things Dion used to say, a business decision. Like know what?
Yeah.
Yes,
man.
Yes, sir.
They don't run.
Man.
OJ, they don't run like that no more. They don't. They don't run. The only person I think run like that is my man in Tennessee.
Henry.
Yeah, Derrick.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Derrick Henry's the only guy that run that way. You're right. He's the only one.
So let me my first question for you guys, and I'll let you take it first, Dexter. What did you think about this year's season? What did you guys think about the 2022 football season? Just what was y'all thoughts about the whole season?
Well, I thought the top four teams, made it. So, unfortunately, the NFC Championship game, injuries matter, especially when you get injuries to a significant player. And we all know the importance of the quarterback position in the NFL. And the 49ers, unfortunately, lost literally four, including the backup to Purdy in the NFC. But I thought the top four teams made it. Give or take one or two teams that was right there on the outside that didn't make it, but the top four made it. And I thought Cincinnati was going to take, the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are deserving to be in there. And the Eagles all season, best record in the league. So you know what? Without Hurts, they showed when they lost those two games how important he was. And when he came back and, they got back on course, they were going to be a big task for the 49ers to beat. But it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I'm excited about it, man. The right two teams are in there.
Well,
OJ?
Well, I agree with Dex a lot, but what I see more exciting about the year was the fact that we saw some young quarterbacks become young men, guys who can take their teams a lot further, like teams who players who were selected back in the day for them to do what they did. It was impressive to see, Jacksonville play the way they did, but under Peterson guidance, they're going to be good. But just to see some of those teams blossom, to see the Giants back in the playoff, it's been a long time for us, and we didn't expect a lot out of the team, but they surprised everyone by being in the playoff. And then when you look at what you said, teams that should be in the Final Four were the teams that should have been in the Final Four. That was no mystery. That the only thing that I would attach to it, which was what you said, Dex, is the fact that had the 49ers not lost their quarterback, I believe that game would have been a lot more interesting than what it was. But at the end of the day, At the end of the day, the best 4 teams were in it. At the end of the day, yeah. Sorry, they moved me.
Oh no, you multitasking. See, the kids don't know about that now. You're multitasking.
Yeah, hey, and
Let me.
I like, hey,
Go
and
ahead.
one thing I like OJ said, and he is so accurate. I love what the Giants quarterback, how he developed. The new coach there did a good job, developing him and making sure there was a system that fit him. And you saw the difference, and
Yeah,
then
you
you had, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the Giants are a team. I think if they get 1 or 2 more receivers, I think, man, they're gonna be something to be reckoned with. And then again, I agree with you also. I used to live in Jacksonville, and to see Peterson come there and do his magic like he's always done with Trevor Lawrence, oh man,
Yeah,
that was
quick. That was quick. That was a quick turnaround. But let me ask you guys a question about when you mentioned Cincinnati, because you guys played in an era that I'm used to, right? And I want to get you guys' thoughts on this before we get to the Super Bowl. So you had a situation where Mahomes couldn't scramble to his left because of the high ankle sprain. And I was kind of disappointed in the defensive coordinator not applying pressure from the right side to force him to see if he could function with that. What was you guys' thoughts about not adjusting the game plan?
Well, my whole deal is most of the defensive coordinators, just like the offensive coordinator, they're trying to audition for head coaching job. They're trying to show people how not smart they are, not how smart, how not smart they are. Because there's no reason why you're going to not play to the weakness of what KC was doing, and to force Mahomes to throw to off his left side, not his right side. I'm sorry, run him to his hurt side where they put pressure on him. It'd have been hard for him trying to throw off that right foot because that, old school, old days, we'd have done that. We'd have blitzed him, boy, and make him run to that strong side, and he would definitely have to throw off that leg or get sacked, and I'll try to run it. And if you run it, we're going to tackle him, we're going to twist that leg. That's what we're going to do. So, coaches, especially coordinators, they try to audition too much for head coach. Football is very simple. It's not as complicated as they make it.
Thank you.
There's something that you have to do. Like, I don't understand, like when Michael Parsons was playing and you don't put a tight end over to help the tackle out, or you don't have a running back to help out your tackle when you know he's a blitzing outside backer. I don't get how they don't understand that. You don't let one man destroy your defense other than LT, but you got to have somebody over there to help out. They don't understand that. You put a tight end. Another thing I don't understand about how they play football is the fact, I know I kind of left the subject, but what I don't like good. Also what they do is how you don't jam the receivers. How you don't jam the receivers off the line? You got a quarterback with a bad leg, right? He's on that count with 5-second drop, football. It's free all the time. Sorry about that. I don't get that. That's what I'm saying. They're too much trying to audition for head coaches and not really understanding football. So I'm sorry, that's my bad.
You good. No, you good. Yeah, I'm with you. I love it. Go ahead, Dexter.
I think, you know what, he had some good points. I think one, the defensive coordinator, in my opinion, for Kansas City, should have to answer to why he didn't do that, not just immediately after the
Cincinnati.
game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, thank you. Cincinnati.
We know.
He should have. Yeah, thank you. He should have had to answer to that, not after the game, throughout the game. That's why I'm shocked the head coach did not step in and say, what are you doing? Yeah. We've got to jam these receivers. We got to put pressure, more pressure by any means necessary on Mahomes, because even if he breaks the pocket, steps up and step to the side, which he did a lot, but when he stepped up and to the side, somebody should have been in his face. I think they were only rushing four people.
That's all they were rushing was 4.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So I think the coordinator should be answering why he didn't do it, but then the head coach got to answer why he didn't make him do that, because he supersedes the game plan. If it starts out and he's not getting the pressure on Mahomes with the hurt ankle, then he needs to change it. Especially when Mahomes is getting the ball to his playmakers, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
Go
ahead. Listen, the way they play football nowadays, you know, and I know, I don't know what kind of football they play because the rules are the rules, but that's the basic thing that you do. For instance, you give coverage in the secondary. Either you go cover 2 or you go 3D. Or you go one high. It's just certain things you do on certain down and distance. They gotta wear them down and distance. How are you gonna have 3rd and 6 or 7, and you and your corners are thick as 5 yards off the ball?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, and then I look at some of the offensive units, and I'm going like, take the ball and just throw. There's nobody standing there. Throw the ball.
Throw the ball. You can fall and pick up the 2 yards.
Yeah, and this probably get me more than anything else, and I know it's kind of off the subject a little bit.
No, it's not. It's on the subject.
But what I don't understand when they say analytics say you should do this and do that. What the hell? Analytics ain't played football. They ain't snapped no ball. They ain't tackled nobody. They ain't caught no pass. But analytics say you do this and do that. I can't believe they do that. But
analytics then lost a lot of games. Guys going for on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 when your team don't even have the momentum. Analytics they got some coaches fired. And the reason I brought this up, guys, is because I was watching after the game, and they was trying to try to put it on Joe Burrows, or he didn't step up, or they tried to put it on. And I'm saying, no, the defensive coordinator lost that job. So and that's why I want to have you guys on, because I get frustrated of you get on TV and you're supposed to educate people on the game, and you're not telling people really where this game was lost. This game was lost because you didn't apply pressure to. I heard T-Mac, Tracy McGrady said, when he was playing up against Kobe, he was coming back from a back injury, and he said he went up to make a shot, and when he came down, Kobe elbowed him in the back.
Yep, on purpose.
On purpose. Yep. He said he looked at Kobe, and Kobe said, "I was testing that back, because if you say," and that's what I couldn't understand. But man, if you know he was hobbling during the game. It's one thing if you don't see him hobbling. But the guy is hobbling. He's hobbling during the game. So
it is unbelievable.
I wanted you guys, which you guys both did eloquently, to talk about that. Where that game was really lost at. You made him look like the superhero that he shouldn't have looked. You made him look that way.
Hey, but I tell you one thing. Philly gonna put that pressure on him.
Oh no, yeah. Oh yeah.
Philly got a guy on the team that would have played in y'all era called Adamakin Sue. Sue don't care.
Hey, I tell you what, that entire interior D line,
they moved. They bring it.
Matter of fact,
it's gonna be interesting.
Speaking of that, what do you guys feel that that the Eagles' strengths are in this game?
It's the defense. It's
definitely.
It's the defensive front, the way they're 4 guys. See, when you can rush 4 guys and you don't have to blitz, that means you got more guys in the secondary to do more things. That's why they coverage is so well, because they don't need but 4 guys to put pressure on you. And when you can do that, you can control a lot of things. Yeah, they got that run pass option RPO they run is pretty unique offensively. If they get that going, which I said, I don't see how Kansas City can stop that Philly offense based on what I've seen. I just don't see it happening, and I see that it's going to be big trouble. When Dick said earlier that he's giving a nod to Philly, I would never get a nod to Philly because I would never go with Philly. Don't care what it is, even though I know they may be a better team.
I know you. You're a Giant, so.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But are they the better team? Probably, but I would never say give them the victory. No, they got no.
It ain't
But
happening. It ain't happening.
yeah, I think when you look at the weapons offensively and defensively, Philly by far, can control the front, and I don't see Kansas City offensive line being as dominant. And Mahomes gonna have to throw too many passes. He got to throw too many passes because they're not going to be able to run. I would be surprised if they can, but I don't think they'll be able to run as well against a Philly defense. And Mahomes going to throw a lot, which means he's going to get hit a lot, which means that ankle going to go crash on him. So,
yep.
What are you saying, Dex?
Yeah, absolutely right. I believe that what Kansas City saw in the offensive line of Cincinnati is going to be a total flip from that offensive line they're going to see in Philly.
Okay.
Philly's offensive line, they're going to protect Hurts now. Cincinnati offensive line, I swear I gotta figure out what did Burrows do to them.
I know, right?
Because they can't protect him. It doesn't matter if all 5 starters on the offensive line are in there, or if it's 2 or 3, subs. They and maybe that's an offensive line coach issue. I don't know, but man, he's the most sacked quarterback the last 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years, yeah.
And he's still balling.
Yeah, and to be that good. You're right. And to be that good. That's amazing. It speaks a lot about his individual talent. And the fact that they got that boy out there to catch everything you throw his way, boy.
That's right.
What?
Yeah,
Chase old school. He could have played during our era. Chase
no doubt.
Well, I felt like all 3 of them. I know Boyd got hurt, but I felt like all 3 could have played back in the day, because the problem I did have with the offensive coordinator, and right quick before we go back to the Super Bowl, if you guys give me your thoughts, I was wondering, why didn't he stack his when you had one receiver out, Boyd went out, you got Higgins, and then you got Chase. They playing zone, right? So why don't you stack them along with the tight end, so when they release, you got to pick and choose. Okay, are we still going to continue to double team Chase? And now you got a zone. You got a zone that's open. It's voided. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Actually, you know what? I'm shocked that they didn't do, and OJ hit this earlier.
Okay.
Because we did it at San Francisco. Okay. It was just known back then. You got Lawrence Taylor out there, but really it doesn't matter whether you chip Lawrence or not. Lawrence is going to get where he want to get. But why don't they pull the tight end in and let him help the tackle? Why don't they use the running back to chip the other tackle?
Chip, yeah.
I was trying to figure out. I said Joe Mixon don't know how to run anymore, because I didn't understand how you have as good as a back that you have in Joe Mixon, and Joe is on the sideline just about every play. I'm like, it's a close game. You telling me you can't run the ball anymore?
They lost their identity because they got caught up with the Mahomes voodoo, and they just started doing everything that they could to try to match Mahomes score by score, which was throwing the football, which nobody was eating up the clock. And that's why the game got into be a shootout the way it was. If Cincinnati would have stuck to their game plan, which is play power football and throw not when they need, but when they wanted to,
right,
it would have been a different results. But again, I don't know if Mahomes forced them to do that because of his ability to score often, or the fact that they just lost patience with what they were doing and just got in the shootout. And I
think they lost patience. Yeah, I think they lost patience.
You're not going to win many shootouts with that boy.
Yeah, with Mahomes. I think OJ is right on both fronts. I think it's because of both reasons.
Both reasons.
Both reasons. They just lost it.
With this game coming up, and let me get you guys' thoughts. I feel like and OJ, you touched on it with that defensive line, but I also see a mismatch that Philly has, that they have 2 corners that can erase. They got 2 corners that can match up in a pretty good pretty good safety. Would you focus on, even if they're healthy? I'm talking about if not Cincinnati, if Kansas City is healthy, as far as they bringing all their receivers back, right? Would you play maybe a zone blitz and mix it with a little man to man to kind of keep Mahomes
Mahomes
off? Yeah.
guessing. That seemed like the most logical thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to hurt Kansas City from trying? Well, Philly can do what they want to do because again,
Okay.
the front four,
Mm-hmm.
the way they come off the ball, and Mahomes can't really run. So that's going to be the downfall of them right there. Now, don't get it twisted. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City got a core of receivers that's not bad, but what's going to happen if I'm Philly? That boy Kelsey ain't beat me.
Gotcha.
He ain't beat me, just like Cincinnati, with Chase. I understand how Chase caught that ball on double coverage. You don't do that. That don't normally happen. That ball right there, if you watch Mahomes, every crucial situation, Kelsey shows up for.
Yeah.
He shows up. He don't run long routes. He runs in those like 2 to 3 yards route, catch the ball, move the chains, turn around a 2 yard to about a 6 yard. And it's almost like a run. They use him like a run, and they just disguise it so that they don't have to run the ball because their running game not that great. So they just do that. They just throw a dip and dump, dip and dump. You notice he ain't way downfield. He ain't running no deep corner out. He ain't doing no 15-yard corner out because he ain't got that time. That's what they do. So they're gonna have him right around the line of scrimmage, not going far, and they're gonna run everybody else off and see how Philly gonna play them as far as they're gonna go to double cover on him, or are they gonna let him run free and hope that the pressure put enough on Mahomes that they can't get the ball off? So I mean, that's what I see. Offensively, they jumped to Philly. Offensively, that RPO, that's gonna be hard to stop. That boy Hurts, he run that thing so good. He run like an old school Thomas Lott back in the day when he was in Oklahoma. That veer wishbone option where he can hide that ball.
Yeah.
So that's what you're really looking at. He's real good at that. And I saw some things that was interesting when I saw what San Fran was trying to do with the RPO. They had a good idea on it, but when you can't cover, because they didn't have the receivers, when you can't cover, then you start getting those good passes in. Now you're talking about your running game. But again, San Fran was in a bad position. That's all. I think again it would have been a different turnout.
Bad. Yeah, it would have been a different turnout.
But it's just gonna be interesting to see how they play against that front four, because that's how Philly gonna do it. They ain't gonna they're gonna go front four, go man up and see, can you beat me? They ain't gonna zone you. They're gonna go man up, and they're gonna put that pressure. And just imagine they go man up, put pressure, and blitz somebody. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
what are you thinking, Dexter? I mean,
offensively, I think Hurts does a tremendous job of reading that defensive end. If he's coming down hard, he's pulling it. And if he doesn't come down, he's giving it. But then they throw the ball right over top of those linebackers, depending on whether that linebacker steps up to that run or not.
Right.
And he's been doing it so long and so well, he has it down. It's like second nature to him. So he does about as good as anybody. Now, going to Kansas City offense, I don't know if you guys heard this past week that Kelsey, out of every team in the league, I believe Kelsey's got more touchdowns in the red zone than anybody. Now, and it goes along with what OJ said. His short routes, and I'm going to throw in intermediate routes too. The reason he's so good in the red zone, 15, into the end zone, is because most of his catches are broken plays, meaning it ain't exactly where he goes where he's supposed to go, and then Mahomes does a great job of anticipating what Kelsey's gonna do. Oh my God, he's going, to that corner route, then he stops when the DB goes there and slides back inside, literally.
And that's why he's always open in the middle of the field.
That's right, because if you notice, great quarterbacks throw receivers open. And what he's doing is he's throwing the ball before Kelsey really even stops. And then he
Okay.
slides opposite of where he's going, and the ball's there before the defender can see, because he's still reacting on what he thinks Kelsey's doing on the route.
So do you?
Dex, let me say this first of all, Dex. Thank you for pronouncing Kelsey name correctly. I kept saying Kelso, but it's Kelsey. Thank you for that. Pronouncing it correctly. Kelso was the guy that I beat up for Buffalo Bills. I got a flashback. I kept saying Kelso because that's the guy I kept beating up for Buffalo, the safety that kept coming up there with that double helmet. I tried to get a layer, so I kept going back to him. CT is real. So, so Kelsey, it's Kelsey. Yeah. How you doing? Yeah.
That's funny. Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think that whether it's a good idea, indifference, or whatever, do you think Kansas City is going to have to, because you guys are talking about that read option, right? So do you think Kansas City is going to have to move Jones around up and down that D line, inside, outside?
I thought that's what they did anyway.
Yeah, they did. I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. But they try to move him around like that because that boy gonna read that option. See, first of all, they don't understand it. If you're gonna run that RPO option, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta walk that safety up. And I know that's because you gotta have 11 on 11. Okay.
Gotcha.
So you gotta walk that safety up. And his job is, and you saw the 49ers do it a few times, that safety came up and hit Hurts when he was outside. You got to tell that outside, that DN, you got to tell the DN to come upfield. The inside linebacker got to tackle the first man no matter what. If he comes through the hole, if he faking it, whatever, you hit him, you knock him down, and that safety got to come up and hit that freaking quarterback. That's how you stop that RPO. You got to force that. You can't let him have the chance to read that end. That end just got one job to do. Either you tell that end to bust the quarterback face up all day long, set that safety back in the gap, and let the inside backer try to fill the gap and let the safety stay in there. So that's the only way you're gonna beat the RPO.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, OJ, because you know who I saw do it? You know who I saw do what he said? Was the Cincinnati Bengals when RG3 was running it. The game, what they did was just what OJ said. They brought this. They did it a little bit different. What they did was they brought this the linebacker, the outside linebacker, and told him, your job is to hit RG3 every time they want to do that. And so it gets to a point where the quarterback don't even want to fake the handoff. It's like, now take it.
He gonna get it to him every time. You got that right. Quarterbacks, see, they forget quarterbacks are not like running backs. See, people get confused when they see all these quarterbacks running around. I tell people all the time, the quarterback's going to get hurt just a matter of time because they don't have that R in front of their name. Running backs are running backs. We've been doing this all our life. This is what we do. Quarterbacks throw the ball, occasionally run, but they're mostly known for throwing the football. They don't have R in front of their name. Running backs have R because we run with the football. We used to get hit. We know how to fall. We know all of that. Quarterbacks, they can't take that kind of stuff because that's not how they made up. They don't even have the uniform to support that like we do. So it's just a matter of time. Hurts already got a shoulder. I promise you. If Kansas City get a chance to come up and get hold of Hurts and do an all two-man power drive down on his right shoulder, he gone. Because his shoulder ain't right.
Well, that's gonna have to be him running because we know it can't be in the pocket. Because if he, that's a flag.
But the thing is, he does that RPO so much and running it.
True.
He's not when Kansas City when Kansas City realizes over these 2 weeks before the Super Bowl that he is not protected like a quarterback when he does that RPO, and they hit him every single time. OJ is exactly right. They're gonna have to hit him whether he's got the ball or not because he's not protected. He's in a running position.
And that's
hit him.
That's the last team I saw do that was when RG3 was running it his rookie year. Cincinnati sent the guy to say, your job is to come get RG3 every single play. And
Come on, boy.
Washington couldn't function because now, like you said, the play action is not going to work because it's not going to be play action. I'm going to give
That's
him
right.
the ball because, like
That's
OJ
right.
said, I'm not a running back. This is not what I do. So
Yeah.
let me get a running back the ball.
Let him earn his money. Let him earn his money.
Now,
Absolutely.
to me, and let me get you guys' thoughts on this. Another key for me is kind of what Philly's been doing all year. Is I'm a body blow you with AJ Brown. I'm a body blow you with AJ Brown, and then once you get used to that, you know who I'm going to, the Slim Reaper. I'm going up top, the Smith, and sprinkle the tight end because they got a good tight end as well.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's exactly, they've got the formula to be successful. And even if he gets hit, then they'll slow down on that because he has the arm to throw the ball. So he's got the receivers to get the ball too. So if Kansas City does what they should hit him just like OJ said. They have got to hit him whether he got the ball or not. Then all of a sudden he's gonna be in the gun and he's gonna be dropped back and he's gonna decide who he's gonna go to and he's gonna throw it like a pocket passer. And I think he's got the ability to do it. And then the key for Kansas City in that same scenario, the key for Philly, they have got to hit Mahomes. And the only way you hit him, you got to get to him. And they've got that interior line and those defensive ends to get to him. But they got to hit him as often as possible, take him down. But obviously, they're going to try to protect him, the referees. But I think they have the ability to get to him because if he freaking sits there and does his sidearm and slides away from the pocket and don't get hit, he is going to rip them apart, in my opinion.
So OJ, does the Philly need to play big boy from Georgia? Like, is this a game he can because he's gonna take two double teams. I hadn't seen him Big Davis.
Wait, has he been hurt?
I think he was hurt a little bit early in the season. Then I guess OJ, you might. I mean, not saying that but sometimes a big guy like that maybe is not in the best of shape as far as the NFL is concerned. But he's there. So, do you think that OJ, this could be a game that because like you say, Kansas City doesn't run the ball that well anyway, but he's one of those guys you need two blockers to get in.
You got to put two on him. And then you got those other two interior linemen. If you do that, it's
Cox?
over.
So my Cox?
No,
no, Cox.
That's the interior lineman. That's the other interior lineman.
Oh yeah,
correct,
Fletcher.
The other two, but the one from Georgia, the rookie, he's got to be out for the season because I have not seen him the last few games.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
He is?
Oh my goodness, if he was in there, oh my goodness.
Okay, I didn't know he was out for the year.
I don't think he's showing up. I don't think he even part of the 53 dress. I don't think. I haven't seen him in 2 weeks, so I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Just going back before this game, I wanted to ask both of you guys in a situation with that last play, Osaya made the mistake, and hit the quarterback after, way out of bounds. How do you guys handle something like that, far as where you're trying to pick your teammate up, or he know what he did, he's feeling bad, in you guys' era, is that how do y'all handle something like that?
That wouldn't happen because we talk better. We know better than there's certain things you don't do. We police a lot of that stuff ourselves.
Absolutely, because it was I use the word egregious, but bruh, foot out of bounds, okay, I get it. He was a yard and a half out.
Yeah, he was out of bounds.
Yeah. I mean, you can't throw him to the wolves. You can't publicly jump him. But dang, I know he's a second-year guy, but he's got to know better.
Oh, he know better. Come on, I'll tell you what. This is my perspective of what I thought happened. He figured if he can knock Mahomes out of the game, overtime ain't gonna be an issue because he out of the game. That's what I'm thinking. Because when he hit him the way he pushed him, that means that he was banking on him not being able to come back to play because they were going to go to overtime. If he don't do anything but let that play run out, they go into overtime. So in his head, he done ran that far. He meant business. So he was trying to knock him down so that he'll be hurt. And then with the overtime, it'll be easy peasy.
Yeah. And the second part to that,
Mhm.
is he was just flat like most people that chase Mahomes and don't get him. He was frustrated.
I was about to ask you. Yeah, that looked like that's what that was. I done ran all the way over here, and I done got close to him, and doggone it, he didn't step. He gonna have to feel this. He gonna have to feel.
He got to feel
He
this.
gonna have to feel. I get it.
Yeah, that's what his thinking was. Yep.
And then Mahomes does like he always does. Get his butt up and jog over.
Hey, did he sell it or did he sell it?
Yeah.
He sold it. He sold it.
And you know what's crazy, fellas? You know what's crazy? Is I like Mahomes, but dang, I want him to get hit. I sit in here and I look at the game and I like him, but man, something tells me I don't want to like him.
Well, you know what's funny about you saying that, and of course the comments that OJ made earlier, which I respect both of you guys. You guys are football players, and you guys come from an era that once you step across that line, that's what we're playing. We're playing football. We're not playing touch. Yeah. We're playing tackle, and you guys understand that. Hey, if I can get hit, like I always tell people, it seemed to me the defense is such at a disadvantage for you're making them think too much. Like I've never heard that I'm supposed to come hit the quarterback, but on the way falling, let him go.
I know that makes no sense.
Because I can't.
Try not to put too much weight on him. Try not to put too much weight on him. Okay. All right.
Hey, OJ. How do you think Joe Montana and Phil Simms and Hostetler would have loved that?
What? They be still playing. They'd still been playing like Brady. They be still playing like Brady.
I know Dan would have still been playing. I know Marino would have still been playing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I'm gonna tell you something, and it's funny that you said Joe Montana, because I know OJ remember this. When it was always the Giants too. I'm sorry, Dexter, but it was always the Giants. First it was Jim Burt. With that 4. Then Leonard Marshall hit him. I've never seen the owner come out the box. The owner came out and like, Joe, get up, baby. Joe, get up.
Hey man, you know what? Hey, I had a bird's eye view. He was rolling to our sideline.
Yes, he was.
I'm literally, on whatever your line it was, and I'm looking, and I see him set up to throw it, and I see Leonard coming. I'm like, oh hell!
Can he get rid of in time?
What? When that happened, because he wasn't even moving. He was asleep on the field. I ain't never seen nobody go to sleep getting hit from the backside.
I thought Whiplash broke his neck. I thought his neck was broke.
Hey, you're right.
So baby,
you're right.
Yeah, I thought he broke his neck. And then when Jim Burt hit him in the Meadowlands, I thought Jim Burt broke his back. I thought his back was broke when Burt hit him. And when Leonard hit him, I thought he broke his neck. So
when Jim hit, I ain't gonna lie. When Jim Burt hit him, that was something totally different. That was something totally different. Hey, hold on. I got a surprise for you guys. This guy coming on. He played just like you guys play. I got a surprise coming. I hit him when you guys came, and I know OJ knowing. I'm waiting on him to turn his camera on. He's on. I'm waiting on him to bring that camera on. There he is. There he is.
You and OJ, man. That boy took too much money out of our pockets. I said, Lord have mercy.
Mr. Doc Walker.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, what's happening?
What up, boy?
Hey, man. I thought maybe you gonna give me some money back, or boy, that boy was let me tell you something, Otis. That boy was a raging bull.
Hey, I told him when I introduced him, Doc, I said, I got 2 running. I said, I got 2 running back. I got the power. I got the quickness here. Then I started thinking, I said, you know what? I need a tight end. Let me hit Doc Walker up right quick. I need a tight end.
I saw the list. You got these ballers. I said, "Oh, this must be a baller's ball." I said, "Well, let me see if I can tap in there for a few seconds."
Hey, guys, so the audience can put this in perspective. First of all, you know, we've all coached, I'm sure, but I'm gonna tell you, if I can find me a tight end, my offense is gonna work.
Oh yeah,
because I'm gonna tell you, I mean, you guys had one, Bavaro, Brent Jones, you know, Novacek for Cap. Man, if you've got a tight end, my offense can work. Second of all, the show the audience, as four opposite ends of the spectrum of running backs can be, I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. OJ, tell them how big you are.
I was 6'2.5", 225, 230.
Hey, I'm telling you, crazy that there was a place for me, and then obviously a place for him. Man, that's crazy when I think about it.
Well, I had a chance to have an OJ and John Riggins, and then to have your counterpart in Joe Washington.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So
What?
Go coming
Joe?
out, running scrams and running option routes. You need everybody. You need different shapes, sizes, attitudes, ethnicity. I mean, when you're talking about building a champion for the people that get to win, we just honored tonight, Bobby Beathard passed away.
Yeah.
Yesterday. That guy was the architect, man. And it don't matter what round, it wasn't about no round you in. The rounds are irrelevant.
Yep.
Now that we know who's picking. When you're in college, you think everybody's an expert. Then when you get in the league and you realize how many bank robbers have a job, friends of family, then you realize, hey man, very few people actually know what they're doing in this industry. And those that do, they stick out like sore thumbs. You get a chance to play for Parcells or Gibbs, or Yolanda, they're different. The league is not balanced, man.
Or even Vermeil. And
Dick Vermeil. I had Dick.
And Coach Wall, you got true coaches when you bring them names that there. Yeah, you start calling those names up.
Now you hate training camp with them. You hate a whole bunch of things about their methods, but it produces champions.
You know, Doc, before you came on, you know, we were talking about, before we had talked about this game here, we were talking about Cincinnati and Kansas City. And these two gentlemen, just like yourself, know football so well, because what we talked about is, I was telling them I was getting frustrated looking at Fox and ESPN. They was talking about how Burrow blew it and all this. And I said the game was lost when Cincinnati defensive coordinator decided that he was just not going to put no pressure on Mahomes with a bad ankle. Like, I never seen anything like that in my life.
And I'm tripling Kelsey. If I got to put 4 people on it, you ain't, you know, Belichick, I know Bill had to be watching that game, and Parcells, they had to be watching that game going, I don't believe it. And then the protection scheme, and I'm pulling for Cincinnati. The people, great people in the city. This young man, he's Fred Astaire. I love this kid at quarterback. But my God, man, how about a little Max Pro?
Thank you. We
talked about everything. You can put 5 receivers out of every play. Who you think you playing? This ain't preseason, man. You got to protect. When you get one of these cats, you have to protect them, man, like the Royal Guard.
And that's what OJ was saying. OJ said, finally, something that you and I said a while back, Doc, and he said, and I was so happy. He said, this game ain't complicated. They make it complicated, but the game ain't complicated.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, when you're interviewing for the job, the guy that's interviewing you knows nothing about the game. So if you draw a whole bunch of circles and if you do them different colors, if you got a real fancy notebook, they don't know the difference. You know, I mean, so that's the whole thing. It's the rarest industry on earth that the people who own it know nothing about it. And if they don't get smart enough to hire somebody that does, they end up in last place. But what's the penalty for last? You get an equal share. Everybody gets fat. Nobody loses. The dumbest management groups, the dumbest teams make just as much as the champions.
Hey, speaking of the dumbest, hey, you know what? This was the first year that I've seen somebody go from the dumbest to the smartest.
Jacksonville.
And yes, absolutely. I mean, Khan, the owner, he went from the dumbest hiring buyer to 2 years later.
He had the guts to get rid of him. New York Giants, had Barney Fife as a coach. They ran his butt out of New York and brought in a stud. And in 1 year, boom, they go from garbage, to Park Avenue.
Yep.
Doc, with the Giants, what's amazing is something that you've been talking about for years, dealing with Washington. And of course, OJ and Dexter played the position. But the unique thing that I like watching the Giants was it didn't matter that you knew they were going to run the ball. Can you stop it? They would come. They was like, yes, we're running, but can you stop it? You can put 8 in the box. You can put 9 in the box. But can you – the execution. And they knew who they were, and they just kept doing what they needed to do. They got a stud running back. Just ask the quarterback, make a few throws here and there. And when you look up, you still trying to figure out, use an example, the Giants are playing Minnesota. They got all these receivers, they got all these weapons. And you're trying to figure out, the Giants are not going to last. And next thing you know, the Giants is running roughshod over them because the Giants know who they are. They got a stud running back, and it doesn't matter that we're going to run. Can you stop it?
Everybody, and the Giants have another option too. If the quarterback is not a Statue of Liberty, but can actually run, checkmate.
Oh yeah.
He kill us every time. Lord Jesus.
Listen, these quarterbacks like Allen, like Jones, these current quarterbacks that move around, they're the X factor. You can do all the coverage in the world, and then they change the game. That's why back in the day, that would have never happened. We had the best running quarterback with Randall back in the day. Randall could get around and move a few things. But if you look at football and go to football history, how many scrambling quarterbacks has won Super Bowls? Just help me out with that one. How many?
No, Fran Tarkenton got close, but he didn't win.
I only know one.
Roger Staubach would be the only guy I would think of.
Well, I was going to say Russell when he wanted that, but even though he had the Legion of Boom, he still was a.
Well, no, Russell was balling, but Roger.
Hey, you know what? A lot of people forget that Roger Staubach was a freaking runner.
Killer.
Yeah,
killer.
Roger the Dodger, baby.
Killer. Yeah, killer. So it's but because of 7-on-7 passing leagues,
come on, boy.
It's elevated.
Well, back it up for a second. I was telling we were talking earlier. How do you not jam receivers off the line of scrimmage? How you just let guys run free? You know what y'all would have done to the league if you ain't have a linebacker over y'all a safety, somebody over y'all jamming y'all.
The Tatums and the Ronnie Lotts, that era, LT, all these dudes, everybody. We had Monty Coleman. Coleman check a back, check a tight end, check a wide receiver. The boy running 4.5.
Yes, he did.
At 240.
Yes, he did.
So these freaks come up now, man. With Cincinnati putting out them 2, with Phillies throwing out 2, everybody got a deuce. In Kansas City, had they top 3 not even played, and they still lit up the sky.
I know.
Yeah, man.
That's why I said
They don't know how to tackle anyway. They don't change. They don't tackle football no more. They
scared to hit anybody. Every time you hit somebody, you get flagged.
Exactly.
You know how many yards? You know how many yards me and Carter would have had by now. They would still be playing with that bullshit they doing. And most time they had to make a business decision anyway, tackling me. So can you imagine? Can you imagine? I might have been still playing.
Well, see the thing about you two is, like I said, if the linebacker didn't get you when you first came through the line, like you said, especially today's game, you might well get the special team unit ready. And with Dexter, it did. Somebody better hurry up and get there because Dex gone. Dexter is gone.
Oh no,
I like that kid in Kansas City though, Dex. You know that boy 10.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's bad.
From Rutgers. He was a slot receiver. Listen, he was slot receiver at Rutgers. That's why he do what he does. He kind of remind you of Pollard for Dallas.
Yes,
absolutely. He was that receiver, and now they made him a running back. But
that's a good move. Because Debo, the biggest freak I done seen.
Yeah,
out in Frisco, but this kid's a pure back. He run like my boy in Dallas, God rest his soul.
Barber.
Marion
Barber.
Barber.
The Barbarian.
I can't stand Dallas, but I love watching that boy run.
Yeah.
Boy.
Barber was something. Yeah. I always, Doc, I always tell OJ when I see him, I say, I just can't get that Super Bowl out my head when dude was coming from the other side of the field and OJ hit that four.
OJ dropped that hammer.
Dropped that hammer.
He dropped the hammer. Yeah. He dropped the
Bad
hammer.
intention. Bad intention.
And Doc, it's like he was waiting on him, like, come on. Come on. Come get some of this. And so, the one thing about this game that I was telling them, and I'll ask your thoughts, Doc, that I see is Philly is going to try to go body blow with AJ Brown.
Dude, I'm gonna have to get in my car. I got my food. Okay. I got to get home. I'm gonna get in my car.
It's body blow, with throwing to AJ Brown. And then when you least expect it, the Slim Reaper, that Smith is going to be, and you know what people forget, Doc, if you can speak to it, people forget that Philly can run the ball without Hurts running.
Yes.
Yeah, they can. But when Hurts is running, they become dual threat. And it's just, my deal is that if I had the money to wager, it's on his health. Mahomes showed you he was hurt and balled out. But Jalen does so much more. If that boy can go, the world's in trouble. Yeah. Because he can throw it too. See, the other thing about it, he don't get to do with his sling. Boy's slinging it.
Yeah.
And they're tight end. Kansas City gonna get a dose of their own medicine. Because you can try to guard everything you want, but that boy in the middle, if he do his thing.
To my God.
Absolutely.
The tight end.
Gonna be stupid.
Yeah. Hey, and check this out. Everything you said is absolutely correct. But last week, there were 3 running backs for Philly that got off. 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they got hurt. They got those 3 backs that when they got their time, they were productive. I mean,
and Philly, that was against the best. I think the Niners defense, I think they're the best.
Yes.
But they played with a headless horse.
Yeah.
And they got to play from behind. Now they ain't used to that. That's when the pressure comes on them. They used to playing with leads.
That's
so
right.
Bosa, that's why he chewed the league up. Because they usually are ahead. You put them in check when they trailing, and then they were just incompetent at the quarterback. But ain't nobody gonna beat nobody good if you weak at the quarterback.
Right, you weak at the quarterback.
Can't throw. Because they didn't even throw the ball. They threw the ball one screenplay, literally the last 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, the boy's arm was shot. And I've been saying this on the podcast is that the greedy ass NFL, he should be mandatory 3 quarterbacks dressed for every game.
Thank you.
The roster got to go from 53 to 60.
Yep.
We need to have an extra backup lineman because that's what changes the whole game.
Yes.
You get one offensive, you get show on the O-line, and you playing these boys come up the ball, the game's over. Game's over. And they make it so much money, expand the roster. I like what they did with the practice squad. Go beyond that. Make it 60.
Yes.
Let's load up. Because as a consumer, if I was paying for tickets, it'd be like going to an NBA game and LeBron don't play. What?
Yep.
Give me my money back then. Give me half or do something. But right now they're jeopardizing the quality of the game, and they're just greedy.
Because we were cheated. We were cheated that game because it was over before halftime. Because they didn't want to do what you just said.
Yeah.
Make sure there's 3 quarterbacks, man. Come on, seriously.
Active for every game. 3 guys that can run the offense.
It doesn't matter how many 60, 63, 64 man roster. you got to make an exemption and make sure there's 3 quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
I said I didn't think about the number, Doc, when you said like 60, but I was saying that you got to make all 53 men active, because I was saying you paying him for the 53. So you just giving away money. He's on the 53 man or the 55 man roster, but he's inactive, but he's getting paid like he's gonna play Sunday. So you might as well make that player active, so just like you said, because I still remember that Eagles, Washington game, that what they call the body bag game, when Brian had to play quarterback.
Yeah, Mitch,
so you anything can happen in a game where your offensive linemen are going down or your receivers. And if you can't activate anybody and you saying, well, that's all we have, how do you, like you said, as a consumer, but you're not giving the team a fair shot to, to win. You telling somebody that they made the team, but you're not going to dress out on Sunday. You giving some people free check.
And you know what? Hypothetically, some people may say, oh, man, you bring a quarterback in. Even if you bring him into the team, he's only been there a week. Okay, you got 3 quarterbacks. What difference can he make? How many people you thought said that about Baker Mayfield 1 week at the LA Rams?
Yeah.
And he comes in, learns the playbook or whatever he needs to learn, and they win that game that week. So anything is possible.
They're trained for
but
it.
You got to have the opportunity to bring somebody in to give them that chance.
Yeah. And they're not a startup.
Right.
They're filthy rich.
Yeah.
No doubt.
If Beyonce concert comes out and she happened to get, that's why they don't go out alone. They're going to have a couple headliners. And if she has strep throat, I guarantee you they got somebody in there may not look like her, but damn sure sound like her.
Yeah, they got something. What you say? They got
have something going, because they gonna make sure the customer gets satisfied.
Yeah,
it's business, man. The Temptations, all the big groups, Rolling Stone, they all got backups. All across the country in every region. They cannot afford to go into a show and have a key participant be out. That's just selfishness, and it's greed. And the consumer, they got us on crack. The NFL is crack. And so no matter if they don't play certain players, if they don't hire certain guys, we talk a little trash, but we never stop watching.
That's
we
right.
Never stop going.
Well,
never stop buying gear.
Go ahead, OJ.
And the last I heard, everybody who got mad because players nailed, they weren't ever going to watch football again. Yeah. They right back in those stands.
It's crack, man.
But listen, let me tell you a point that I heard Walt say earlier that we didn't even think about. And it's going back to you, Dex. Check this out. How can you, as the 49ers, a game of that magnitude, you don't have a third guy? How do you have a third guy? How do you don't have somebody just in case? Parcells, Joe, who?
They had McCaffrey. Remember, they had to put the helmet on him so he could hit the plays.
No. Okay, guess what? Then you should have put McCaffrey in there a long time ago. If you're going to go Wildcat.
That's right.
If you're going to go Wildcat, you should have put that in a long time ago.
Yeah,
you shouldn't wait until it got to where it was, and then you put him in there. See, First of all, I feel sorry for Josh Johnson. Is it Jones or Johnson?
Yeah, Johnson.
He's that brother is a genius.
I believe he was on the Giant roster when they won the 4th Super Bowl, or either
he played for about 10 teams.
Yeah, I think he was on our roster, because I remember I was doing an event, a breakfast, and we were introducing players. And when they introduced him, I looked at him. I said, "Wait a minute, you've been on the Giants the whole season, and you black?"
Yeah,
and I didn't know that. So that was that. But what I'm surprised about, a game of that magnitude, you don't have that what if factor. That's one thing. That's the difference between our era and that era. We would have had a real good backup to the backup that would have been able to come in the game and still gave us a chance. Not wait till the end of the game and try to figure it all out and put him in at the end of the game. No. We'd have done that. But see, old school, we do that. We practice this scenario if that was to happen all the time.
So we knew who our emergency quarterback was, and we know the set of plays we were running. We know what he was capable of doing, throwing the ball wide. We all had that down. He had his own set of plays. If ever these kids today, that's what I don't understand. I blame the head coach for that one. How you dropped the ball on that one?
The reason I know you telling the truth, OJ, because when I look at the Giants and you look at Phil Simms, and then you had Hostetler, then when you come to the 49ers, Go. No, I was going to say when you go to the 49ers, you all not only did you have Montana, but you had Steve, but then you had a guy named Bono that was the third string. Then when you come to Washington, you had Doug, then you had Ripien, but you also had Stan Humphries, who went on to quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. So what you're saying is true. There were teams that era had guys that if you don't start on this team because you're the backup or the third string, you get an opportunity. And I see these guys leave and go to other teams and become the franchise quarterback at that time.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
You guys.
I remember we had Simms, Hostetler, and Rutledge.
Rutledge, that's it.
Rutledge. First time we put one Super. Yeah.
So
and then and then when we went to the second Super Bowl, we had he came an offensive coordinator. Well, that name slipped me. Give me a minute. Go ahead. I'll come back to it.
Graham?
Oh, you talking about oh man.
I know you know.
I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna come. But
you're hungry. That's when you get hungry. See your memory go. He's smelling that food. He's smelling that food too.
Hey, Matt Cavanaugh. We had
Matt Cavanaugh. Matt Cavanaugh.
Yep.
We
had Matt.
Yeah. See, Doc, when you were saying earlier, the game was built on you guys' shoulders. You guys understood who came before you. You understood what you were doing in the era that you played in, and it's gotten to the point that, I always tell my kids, the problem with being young, for some reason, you think you know more than people that have already traveled the road that you're trying to travel. I don't know why you think you know more. And with all the technology and everything that's going on today with football, the most common denominator that I see that's missing is that they're not reaching back and asking the Doc Walker, hey, how do I play this position? How do I become good where I not only I'm on the inline blocking, but now when I release and go out, they're not asking, hey, Dexter, how do I run this ball? I'm a scat back like you. How do I avoid taking the big shot? And then if they're a back like OJ, it is saying, hey, for OJ to let him, hey, bro, you got to run behind your pass, bro. You got to make these guys not want to hit you. So in the second half, because people forget now, when OJ was with the Cardinals, he was a different back than what they saw with the Giants.
Walk saw me in my prime.
We had to face him. We had to face him. Trust me.
Yeah, I know, Doc. I know you know.
Yeah. See, you act like they actually talked to guys who played and offered them chances. You ain't on no staff unless you know somebody personally. That's for their kids. That's for their relatives.
Mm-hmm.
You investigate this league the right way, and you'll see, man, it's a gold mine, and it's by invitation only.
Yep, invitation only.
You can work for them, but don't think you're gonna be up in the management or you're gonna be no. Them jobs are preserved for family and friends and family. Pensions go to all those that look like them. I ain't mad. I'm just telling you because they got this thing going. It's crap.
Check this out for a second. I went to Barkley like 2 years ago. No, I think like maybe the first year he got into the league. I said, hey, Bart, if you ever need to talk, know anything about the game, any knowledge that I could share with you, here's my phone number. Don't hesitate to call me. That boy ain't called me yet.
Are you serious?
Let me tell you something. When I was a rookie in the league, Walter Payton told me, he said, you can call me anytime. and I tell you what you need. I call Walter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
you got to
call
call.
Walter.
You got to call Sweetness. And Sweetness
It
tell
is.
you.
He was
It
the
is
only one.
sad though.
He the only one,
Yeah.
and the late great Franco Harris gave me advice when I was playing, and O.J. Simpson gave me advice when I was playing. But Walter Payton opened up his phone book because he's in Chicago. I was in St. Louis, so it wasn't that big a far, distance. But yeah, these kids today, man, they think like we never played the game and we don't know nothing. Like
They're rich.
I tell people all the time, they're like, well, Barkley, I said, listen, the boy don't have no pelts yet. Like Parcells said, he don't have any pelts yet. I mean, he rushed for X amount of yards, okay, but he don't have no pelts. Like you gotta earn the pelts from your peers and really guys who understand the game. But they don't care about what we know, what we think. It's absolutely, we never done it, man. That's what I look at. We never done it. We know nothing.
I brought that
Yeah.
up. I brought that up, OJ, because when I got into, and this goes to you, Dexter, because Doc already know. So when I got 3 years ago and put my podcast together and interviewed Doc told me, he said, "Hey man, I'm just glad you're doing it." He said, "If you ever need me, man, I'm here for you." And I get a chance I can text him. You see, he on. I didn't hit Doc up early like I did last year. He was on my Super Bowl chat last year, and I just said, "Hey, we're having if you want to get on." And I knew I had to throw OJ. I had to say OJ was on that. And my mentor is on, so because I reach out to him for advice, and for me to even have Doc's number is a big thing for me, and that's why I don't understand kids who don't people that pave the way for you in whatever industry you know that you're going into, especially we're talking about football and sports, that you guys not only the game but also the pitfalls, the off the field stuff that try to help maneuver, like you guys ain't live no life. It ain't just football. It's the other stuff that come with it, that a lot of times that their families and friends are not prepared for, that you guys have already been there, done that.
What they don't realize, that they're gonna be a alumni long they are gonna be a current ball player, but they don't see it. They do not see it that way. They think they're gonna play this game forever. And they don't understand why when their career start coming to an end after their third, fourth, fifth year, and they start looking up like, what the hell happened? And we sitting over there going like, yeah, we told you you're gonna be over here. We told you. Y'all, you ain't believe us when you told you that this, NFL stands for the best thing that Dick DeMille ever said. I think it was Dick who said it. It stands for not for long. Somebody said
Right.
that.
Not
They
for
said that. What coach said that?
They don't know
that is such a true statement.
What we had to do for $500 for a
Come
week
on, boy.
in training camp.
Say it again. Say it, Walt.
See,
500.
They don't know. They don't know, and they don't know what it was like for brother to go out there. You be in training camp. You go. You get 500, and you putting that in your account, and now your account's balanced. It wasn't adding to nothing but space, and then you was only adding the space. So these guys, they equate you. What I did and what I always do is that I only had Irv Cross to look to.
Irv Cross,
only brother I saw look like me that was doing something. What I was convinced to do was I knew they would never let me in the system. I figured that out because they don't want anybody that thinks around them, and I'm gonna always think it. I'm from LA. You can leave me out in the middle of. I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
But that they're afraid when you're not afraid of them. I ain't afraid of none of them. Intellectually and no level. So they don't want that. They want you to be subservient. They want you to be in a way that I don't know how to be.
Right.
So when you go talk to these dudes, all you can do is extend the hand to them. I just go to the rookies all the time, especially the higher pick guys. I say the higher you up, the further the drop. I want you to understand that.
Come on.
Higher you up, further the drop. I just want you to understand that money goes faster than you could ever imagine it goes. And you aren't built to tell people no. So get somebody to be in between you and your family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
First hire you hire is somebody to replace you
that can say no.
Speaking to them, right? Yeah. And that you got a 5-year plan. I didn't know what compound interest was. I was going to ask him. I'm talking. So you just try to expose them, like Walter did for you. I had Brig Owens. I was lucky because Brig was here.
Briggs, yep.
President of PA, and I was smart enough to listen to him.
That's
Where
the
should
key.
I live? He said, "You go here." Well, Brig, ain't nobody else there. That's why you need to be there. I did it. See, don't go where the pack is. Go where the property value is. See, and I'm still in it because of Brig, not because of me.
Because of Brig.
I'd have been where the closest to the bars, closest to, hanging out. He told me to go to. So, and I just want to pass that on. Any guy I get, hey, man, don't say I didn't tell you. Trent Williams, go and ask him. Love that dude, man. He can't say he wasn't told.
Yeah.
Because my job is to shepherd these cats and say, look, it ain't what you think it is. You blow an ACL, they'll walk past you like you invisible. I go, your only value is if you healthy and productive. This ain't no relationship. You work for them. See, until you can get enough saved. So and some of them listen, some of them don't. My job is to try with every one of them, just to be available.
It's funny you say that, Doc, because I've reached out to Dexter here, and Dexter always told me, say, hey man, if you some of these young people, because his son, he's got a son in college, he's got another one in high school being recruited. And one of the things Dexter told me, he said, hey man, it's about these kids, man. He said, if you got somebody that's willing to listen, if you want to hit me up, I'll talk to them. And I have people say, well, I say, look, I'm not finna waste their time. Now, if you know so-and-so not gonna listen, I'm not finna call a OJ or a Doc or a Dexter and say, hey man, I got this kid, can you talk to? If you already know they're not gonna listen, don't waste their time, because you messing with my name now. They ain't gonna let you mess with my name. So but I just appreciated Dexter, extending that olive branch, because I'm born and raised in Atlanta and he's here. And just to have that, just to have that, like I say, man, you guys have been I've watched all you guys play. You guys are better people than I knew, than me just watching you guys play. And I appreciate that, because listening to you guys, and the reason I had you guys on, I want to have you guys on, because all you guys are straight shooters, and for some reason that's what I gravitate. I gravitate people who just tell me the truth, get to the point, and not see, and just, Doc, when I release it, I'm gonna send it to you. We did a thing, me and Dexter and one of my political pundits, Shonda Scott, talking about Deshaun Watson, not whether he was innocent or guilty, nothing like that, but just Dexter said something I ain't even expect Dexter was gonna say. And coming from a former athlete, sometimes you think you just gonna be in that pocket, just always, protecting the athlete. But Dexter brought a different side to the conversation that a lot of people are going to be like, oh wow, I didn't expect that comment. So I appreciate you guys' candor on the show, and thank you for blessing me coming on the show, man. And Doc, once again, thank you for coming on at the last minute, man. I appreciate
you. Man. Yeah, I got another one. I'm gonna hop to, but hey, man, Deshaun has no circle of influence. The people that should be really disappointed, who are his dogs? That boy got no dogs. No. If any of your crew, everybody got a crew.
Yeah.
His crew need their ass kicked.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take it one step further. He took one for the team, because you and I and Dex and everybody know that he wasn't the only one.
Oh, that's right.
And the sad part about it was nobody came to his rescue. Nobody stood up. And you know why? Because those that was doing it was married, and they know they couldn't afford it. Couldn't afford
it. Exactly. And the team. He did it on team property.
On the team.
At hotels.
Yeah,
no,
the team.
that's
Yep.
what got me. That's what got me was exactly what you said. The coaches gave him some of the girls, told the
Yes.
girls,
Yes.
and see that well, yeah.
All
I know,
yes
I
men.
know.
All
But he
yes
got
men.
paid.
All yes men didn't want to tell him the risk he was taking because I was like I stayed on the show. I played 7 years and I utilized 2 masseuses. 2. You got to have 60. Somebody should have stepped in, interjected, and told him, and the team should have been punished because the team participated in it. But they should have stood up and they should have instead of saying, "Hey,
Well, you know
we
what?
got some
Hey,
more for you over here."
Hey, Dex, you know what they did, and I know Doc knows this. The minute he wanted to get out because they wouldn't hire an African American coach, allegedly. Let me protect myself. Allegedly, now is I'm going to expose you and I'm gonna hit you in the pocket. Allegedly. The only thing is they didn't count on the Cleveland Browns with that contract. They didn't count on that. That's what was really going on. Allegedly, they just didn't count on the Cleveland Browns giving him 230 fully guaranteed.
Yeah. Cleveland went against the good old boys. They don't like that. They
did.
That was a falling out. That's a falling out relationship behind that, boy. I promise you.
And we should pat him on the back.
Hey, but you know why that happened? You see who the GM is, don't you?
Oh, who?
He's a brother.
No, who I'm talking about which team?
Oh,
Cleveland?
Kenya. Yeah.
Well, fellas, I thank you for coming on and blessing me with your present. And I'm gonna drop a trailer. Thank you for coming on and bless you guys. Stay safe.
Y'all be good.
All right.
Peace
out.
Peace.